Yes, so we're in Brixton. This is the big day, game day. Myself, H.I.M, about to go to Fairfield House in Bath to have an amazing day. I got family and friends on this coach. This is the Rasta bus, yeah? Have a look at the Rasta bus. Just give thanks to everyone that's attending, man. So today, we've got tour of Selassie's house. We've got ITIL food being served. Having a screening of my film, Black Atmosphere, Roots and Concrete. And then we're doing a Q&A. Me and Mark.
Yeah.
Mark?
Hopefully not.
Me and Mark, this is the producer of the film. We're doing a Q&A so you can ask any questions to us. And that's the wonderful Martine. Mark, this is the doctor.
How you doing?
Oh my God, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a doctor.
Alright, boy.
I'm first aid trained.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Stop, where we stopping? In Reading. Yeah, so we're stopping in Reading services in probably an hour and a half, so you can have a smoke break, drink break, buy some snacks, go toilet. There's a toilet on the bus as well. If you have any questions about the coach, you can ask this gentleman right here. This is Stephen. If you have any questions about the event, you can ask my event coordinator, Martine, right there. And let's just enjoy the day, man. It's gonna be a big day. I've done the tour. The tour's amazing, the film's amazing, you lot are amazing. Let's have some fun today, yeah? Big up.
This is the day that the Lord has made, so we shall rejoice and give thanks in it. So I want you to join me on giving reverence unto the Most High. Ask Him to protect us on our going out and our coming in. So we're just going to say our Lord's Prayer. Jah. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Rate is going to be very slow.
Yeah, I see it at night out there.
It's only when you get to 128 when you start going, wow, that's 256, 512, 1024, 2056. Like, but if the number now.
Yeah, I'm on set.
The previous tour is just finishing. You the last one?
No, there's a few more. So.
That's probably not. There's another family coming.
Cash, please.
I've got 120 ready.
120.
No, I've got one of them. One of you. No, where did that extra come from? No, we don't believe in that. We're happy for donations, but we're happy for that.
Yeah, I need the donation details as well.
You're good. Thank you so much.
ticket? I'm actually cash. Your cash is good, I can do that. Yeah. So I'll do Do you want to do the cash one?
Yes, absolutely. If anybody's paying cash, you can come to me. You can take your card payment.
Pay. So,
So, we've just arrived. This is the biggest tour that they've actually had. 33 people just turn up from Brixton to Bath. This is the home of Haile Selassie during World War II when he was in exile here from 1935, I believe. Mussolini invaded Ethiopia and he was so anxious and in danger, he actually had to come here. And so we're about to start the tour. But it's mad to think he actually looked out of these windows. Can you imagine what he was thinking when his country was being literally raped and tortured by Italy? He had to come here, ground himself and get ready for war, man. So yeah, it's an honor to be here.
In 1958, the emperor gifted his home, he gave his home to the city of Bath for the care of the aged. It is still used for that purpose today, but the story of how that came to be is a very fascinating one, and that is what you will get on the tour. During the tour, you're welcome to take as many photographs as you like, take as many pictures as you like. Please, if you need anything as far as supports, we have rooms for the neurodivergent, we have a lift for those people who may need it. Anything else that you may require, please contact either myself or any of the other volunteers. We'll be happy to provide that for you. Please try and take advantage of any chairs. There are points in the tour where there's a really long narrative, so you may want to sit down, particularly with the heat or anything. If you don't see a chair, just ask me or anyone else will bring one for you. But without further ado, Ross Benj, you take it away.
Okay, we're making our way onto the front lawn that way. Now the Emperor, the King of Kings, Negus Nagast, is the highest office in the land of Ethiopia. As much as that's a state position, that is also a military position, because Emperor Haile Selassie has inherited a feudal Ethiopian state. He has dreams of transforming Ethiopia into a modern bureaucratic empire, and that's something that he would achieve during his reign. But at this time, the emperor has inherited a land with feudal kings and regional lords that have their own armies. They've come to Addis Ababa for his coronation 5 years before and paid their allegiance to the King of Kings with their armies. But now he doesn't know if they're going to side with him. He's hoping that all these armies of Ethiopia will come together to repel the Italians. Now Emperor Haile Selassie, he's said in the newspapers to be Ethiopia's best shot, actual best marksman. He's grown up in a militarized environment and now he leads the Ethiopian army into a head-on collision at the Battle of Mai Cho. After this battle, the Ethiopians are forced to retreat. The Italians have blanket mustard gas bombed the north of Ethiopia at this time. The Ethiopian government call a crisis meeting. In this crisis meeting, 24 ministers of the Ethiopian government sit down. 21 of those ministers vote for their emperor, Haile Selassie, to leave his country. The property was bought part furnished, so the emperor, there was some furniture in there that suits a period property like this, the emperor bought purchase, and then some of his other items that he was allowed to bring out of Ethiopia were put in the house. To other communities, Fairfield House is very important. To the Rastafari community, Rastafarians like Bob Marley, this is arguably the most sacred ground in the world outside of Ethiopia. This is where His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, one of his official titles, this is where he lived and worked. This is where, according to the Rastafari viewpoint, the world made war of him and he was able to overcome them. This is where, according to a Rastafari view of the Book of Revelation, a sharp two-edged sword came from his mouth that will smite the nations forevermore.
Sitting there discovering dust.
We're back in the 1930s, and the emperor and his family, they moved in on the June 1937. They were in the most tragic time of the whole of the exile period. The Italians had been occupying the city of Alexandria for about 8 months, 9 months at that time. They had been playing relatively nice with the educated Ethiopians in the city. There was new banks, there was new roads, there was new products, there was new cars, there was new jobs. They're trying their best to convince those Ethiopians that the colonization is a good thing. So there was Ethiopians that rebelled. For about 8 months, 9 months at that time. They had been playing relatively nice with the educated Ethiopians in the city. There was new banks, there was new roads, there's new products, there's new cars, there's new jobs. And if we look at this portrait of the Empress above the fireplace, and we look at the fireplace detail next to the Empress, and we look down, we'll see that this is Empress Carol sat in just the same place today, 85 years later.
Somehow, I don't think I'm going to have to tell this audience what this song is, but normally we play Name That Tune at this point. I think you will know. Right. Okay, try and speed right. Okay, off we go. Forgive that bit, that's
Okay, that's good, that's good. If we stop and turn around, find a place on the stairs that you're happy in. If you can hear me down there, that's fine. We know of this area, that this is where the emperor used to sit and read. And in his autobiography, which was part written at Fairfield House, we learn about his reading habits. We know that the emperor read the Bible every day. He's a very religious man. Fairfield House has climbed from number 208 to number 2 of the best things to do in the city of Bath in 3 years, according to our TripAdvisor profile. Please don't make it about me personally, make it about your visit overall, but we really appreciate people leaving positive reviews there. That's helping people find Fairfield House and more visitors to come on Sundays. If you're having lunch with us, it's in the conservatory downstairs. Otherwise, you've just got time to explore, take lots of pictures.
Los niños cantan en
Selassie, I know.
This used to go on Pharaoh's joint, man. This is it. Walking around the house and stuff. Tell me to pull my trousers up.
T10 man, brother, there's 10% of people on the whole of this UK thing that is even black or mixed race. Oh, true. 6 million is mixed race and black, 2 million is black. That's not a lot, bro. It's not.
And I know H.I.M through, I'm a 12th tribe member, I was born Rasta for life, don't have to be dread to be Rasta. And I go from the tribe of Dan, and I was presenting the 50th anniversary at Manchester, because we've been going as an organisation for 50 years, and my beautiful friend told me about H.I.M and we connected, and just basically just about forward movement, you know, community and what that is, and to see H.I.M, see your movie as well, it's absolutely amazing. So this is H.I.M Lawrence, everyone, who's the filmmaker, as well as Mark, Anthony, Malcolm. I have got 3 names, and you're the producer. So before we actually kick off, I just want, could you just tell me the difference between the filmmaker and the film producer?
Well, in layman's terms, I guess I made the film and directed the film, and Mark helped put it together as a producer.
Excellent, excellent. So today it's going to be a bit of an interactive type thing, because we've been listening all day, which has been absolutely amazing. But now we want to get your views as well, because we've learned a lot, and I think there's a common theme kind of running through, which is about identity as well as black atmosphere. So if you could tell me just a little bit about what black atmosphere, concrete,
Roots and
concrete. If you tell us a little bit more about, you know, what it is, where it came from, and why is it here today?
I guess 6 years ago, during lockdown, I must have been reasonable virgin of mine about doing a project, an album. So originally this started as a music album, and I was originally just wanted to do a music video. And my friend was like, he works in fashion and film, and he was like, "H.I.M, push yourself. You've got vision, you've got eye. Do a full feature film." I was like, I ain't got the funding for that, man. I ain't got the paper, but I just thought to myself, let me try a thing, and it became a documentary at first, and then a short film, and kind of flirted with ideas of it being longer than this originally, but then we sat down with some professionals and they were like, you can do something that's just 20 minutes. I was like, yeah, let's go for that. So, yeah, for the last 6 years, or I finished it last year, for the last 5 years, I was working on it and it just grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's when I got Mark involved later on down the line.
That's excellent. And Mark, if you could tell us a bit of...
Yeah, so as Shem has alluded to, he had the original idea from 2019. We've always been friends and good friends at that.
Sorry, can you hear at the back? Can you hear at the back?
Yeah? Alright, I'll project my voice more. So, having been good friends for a long time, I knew of the idea and the fact that he worked in music and he was interested in producing a film. And around 2022, 2023, I got on board and we started to share ideas about how this could look. And one of the things I said to Shem, which I don't know if he had thought of previously, was you need to go to Jamaica. If we're going to make a film about your identity and your influences, it's important that you go to Jamaica and you documented it. And if you could see in the footage, a lot of it was shot on a GoPro. So I was like, when you go to Jamaica, film as much. Because I went previously, and when I got back, he was like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm like, I didn't go with GoPro, so I couldn't really get any content. And it's about you. I'm just coming on as board as a producer. So when he went, he gathered a lot of footage, and then we were able to use that both in the documentary and the music video we produced. And then, because of all the ideas he had, he needed someone on board that knew him, but was interested in making it like as cohesive as possible without it being biased towards everything that he wants. And kind of, we bumped heads a few times about what it's going to look like, how long it's going to be. I'm like, no one's going to sit down and watch anything about it for an hour, so we're going to, no, it's got to be this. And it was going back and forth, and eventually with a few professionals and people like Martine and her sister who work in the industry, we came together, we decided that 20 minutes felt right. We worked with a good production team. Producer, actually, he's credited on it, a guy called White Name Tim. He was very good in terms of brushing things up towards the end, and then the final product is what you see now. Yeah, that's a long time coming, but yeah, I'm happy with what we produced.
That's excellent. From my perspective, and hopefully could ask the audience as well, that there is a journey, and I feel like it's setting a base to say who it is that you are. You took me about your dad, your mum's in there as well, your music influenced you, the Maroon, and even here, and we're here today as well, so there's lots of like references of like different parts or facets of you and your identity. But it was really good to go back to being the Black British, because that's where it kind of, you had the guys around you, and it's like, how do you feel about that journey and being in a place where someone said they don't feel like they belong, or someone said that they feel like, yeah, I'm a Londoner. Where would you place yourself, your identity, in the midst of the whole journey that you've just shown here?
Well, belonging is quite personal. That's one thing I've picked up and learned over the period of doing this journey, because you, as a British person that's born here, you clearly identify the passport and where you're born. But then when I think about my heritage and how I've been brought up, that's completely different to where I was born. I was brought up as a Jamaican, and I engage with Jamaican culture every day, and I have done since I was born. So that there's almost like a battle being Black British and Black British Jamaican. So I just think it's a personal thing. Everyone's going to have their own way they see, where they identify, and the round table conversation, there was so much more footage that we didn't actually put in, and it kind of like, we got to a very interesting debate about belonging and identity, and as I said, it's each to their own really, but I just know that I'm Jamaican. You keep it sweet and simple, yeah. But I do have a level of honour to where I was born, because this has a contribution to me, to where I am today. I was born in St Thomas's Hospital in Westminster, and I grew up in Brixton, so that shaped me, so I can't take it away from that.
Yeah. Could I take it to the audience? Do you kind of see yourself as, or anyone, been in the UK for a long time or born here in the UK, are you Black British, or do you kind of affiliate yourself with another country? Where do you sit with myself? I actually don't feel a sense of belonging anywhere, but it's my culture as a Rasta that I identify with. So going back to, you know, you saying that you're Jamaican, and I know we've had this discussion before, and you said, well, Jamaican people don't see you as a Jamaican. Like, if you could elaborate on that, and then you tell me what that means to you.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, like, if you take a, you know, sorry for a crass example, but a pig born on a pig farm, and a pig is born on a goat farm, it doesn't then become a goat because it's born on a goat farm, like, it remains a pig. So I think if you're a Jamaican like I am, and funny enough, Dr. Helene, a young lady over there in the corner, she heard me speak and she's like, "Are you Jamaican? Are your parents, or where are you?" I was like, "No, I'm born in Jamaica." She's like, "Oh," she can't hear the accent immediately. So again, like, to some people, when I say I'm Jamaican, they're like, "You're not Jamaican." Like, I can't hear a strong accent, but I'm like, you know, I was born and raised in Jamaica. So like, what do you recognize as being, you know, of a certain culture? Is it what you hear immediately? Is it the person's experience? For me, it's like your personal experience. So in terms of, if you were born somewhere, you're raised somewhere, you have a different affinity and a connection with that place. So Shem said he's Jamaican, but he's really British Jamaican. But he, like, to me, I can't identify with him as a Jamaican because he's not lived there, he didn't grow up there, he wasn't born there. So he can identify, and I think everyone else in the room, if you want to identify yourself as Jamaican, but you're born here, likewise, you're a British Jamaican, because there's something about being Jamaican which is innate. If you're not born there, you're not raised there, it's difficult to claim it. That's just my personal view. Yeah?
Anyone want to follow up on that?
Let me ask you, cameraman shouldn't speak, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you triggered me, but you know what, because obviously certain other things, but there's a term that I've coined called like the children of the Windrush, like Windrush babies, do you know what I mean? So that's like British children that's come, do you understand? And similar to what Shem said, all I've been raised around is Jamaica, like my grannies, grandmas, the culture, every 6 months, back and forth. So when, I respect your opinion, but
There's a hand up in the middle.
Much love.
I had cousins from the Caribbean living here growing up, and when we all got older, when they go back, they're now considered as foreigners. Now, I'm British born Caribbean, but when I go back to the Caribbean and I look on my cousins and family, me and them are not the same. We're not the same. I'm from London, so it's like. But then I get what they're saying, like when you go out to country and stuff like that. But it's just something that I think you have to accept that you're from London, you're from the UK. Like for me, when I go to the Caribbean, they're not the same like us. It's true.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's to do with the age when you emigrate and how much connection you have with like your country of birth, like Jamaica. So I emigrated as a 12, 13-year-old, so my identity was strongly formed by then, and I was still going back and forth from Jamaica. And even now, I've got family and friends who work in industries all across Jamaica, and I'm in regular contact with them. So although, like, you know, he's English, so I'm in England, when I go back, I can still assimilate, I still blend back in, and my accent might be slightly differently, but I know my way around, I feel at home on the ground, and people accept me as such, especially people that know me. Other people that don't know me, like, "Oh, you live in England, oh, you was born here," so I get a pass. "Oh, you went to school here," I get a bigger pass. So I suppose it depends on when you move there. If you move there as a 2-year-old, and you've not been back in 20 odd years, it's like, yeah, like, how Jamaican are you? So it depends on your connection with your homeland, and that kind of dictates, I suppose, how you feel and how you accept it, because it's one thing saying or something, but when people test you in terms of like cultural references and how you move in spaces, you can tell when someone's from London or when someone's not from the ends, like yeah, he's not from around here, you understand? And it's that kind of, you can smell it on someone, you can see on how they dress, how they carry themselves, how comfortable they are in different places and different spaces. So if you see me walking up and down in Jamaica with someone else, one of my cousins are Jamaican, you're going to look at both of us and say, they're both, yeah? We open our mouth, okay, he lives abroad, but he's Jamaican, so it's that kind of thing, it's nuanced. Yeah.
Did you hand up?
Yeah, I think, no, it's a very interesting point, but I also think there's something that's like, especially considering the space that we're in today, there's also a spiritual function of identity, which I think comes up in the film a little bit when you talk about your dad. And I think that's probably, not to project, but from listening and watching and reasoning and also understanding Farai
and what Far Right has offered for Black Brits, you know, in general in this space, is this identity of saying, no man, we're not British, we're something else. And actually to claim Britain is almost feels like a strike against our ancestors who were conquered and fractured. So I think, to Shem's point, it is a personal thing, but I also think it's like what we inherit from our parents, you know, the spiritual, the father. Me, I was born in Jamaica, and I came here at a young age, at like 10, 9, but because my mom and my dad is Rasta, I wasn't allowed to assimilate, you know, I wasn't allowed to integrate with the kind of Black British accent or the English accent or whatever. And if I was to ever to say I'm British, I would be like, my dad wouldn't look at me like that. You know what I mean? But I also think Far Right has provided an identity for me to go to Jamaica and be like, people more see me as an empress before they see me as British, you know? They're more kind of hail you as. So it gives you almost similar to the life that, you know, His Majesty kind of live, almost a kind of world citizenship. And I feel like it's important for Black people, particularly those of us who have been plundered from Africa, to kind of travel and get out there more and come out of our local kind of framework to understand that we are actually world citizens where we can move and we don't, we're a circle, we're not a square, you know, you can't box with, so.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I think it's fine to use Black British as a description where we are. I always remember that there's a dog, I call it a German Shepherd. And no matter weight born, it's a German Shepherd. No matter where you're born, as long as you know that you're African. You know.
My dad is from Trinidad and Tobago, is Black Chinese, and my mum's white. And when I was younger, my experiences of race in this country just made me want to run away, and I ended up, you know, playing rugby in Barbados national team and spending a long time over in the Caribbean. And then I've come back, and it is the spiritual side of things for me, because I've come to this acceptance that the Almighty bore me in this country for a reason. And you saw some of that today, and that fuel behind that. And I would say my study of the history would say that to be Black in Britain is worth fighting for as well, and I don't agree that Britain is always the enemy, because Britain has an ancient history. We're in an ancient Christian country. This Christian history with names like Ethiopia in the Bible, all throughout the Psalms, all throughout the Bible, this is our history, you know? And so this is fueled, you know, like the cheddar man, the black man, and all these different sorts of things. This is part of that identity in the modern time. And when we look at the 1930s, that's like Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, C.L.R. James, all in London. Like, that's our history, and that's our place in this country. So it's worth fighting for. Even they say the term British means covenant man in Hebrew. So, you know, like there's different elements and different things that intersect with the things that we claim, and His Majesty is actually showing that in a grand scale, because he is making the Queen of England bow to him, you know. The whole family, they're accepting who he is, and they're, you know, they're falling over to put him back on his throne and stuff because of that ancient bloodline, 3,000 years, going back to King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, and that's part of Britain's claim as well. So we've got a place to express that and to be present in this space. But that doesn't mean that's where it ends. Like, personally, my dream, I'm going to Ethiopia. You know, we focus in on these things, we find out who we are, and then you know where you resonate with, you know where you are moving in that space, and we're all on a different journey, different time. But it's not all bad. There's history of us to be proud of in this country and to stand up and defend, you know.
Powerful.
Let me segue actually. As I said, this project started as an album, and the documentary is to complement the album. I'm going to play you my next single from the album, and it's called Black and British.
consider home, and where would you sell? That's for both of you. And then the second question is, as well, is what is the goal of the film and the message?
Well, do you know what, yeah, during this, so, this was originally inspired, as you can see, as a homage to my father. My father passed away in 2019, and I went through that stage of, you know, like, burying him, everything, and when he died, I said to myself, like, because he had a lot of conversations with me, and one of the conversations that he had, because he repatriated to Kenya, he went back to Kenya to live his like last 5-10 years like this, so I went a few times, 3 times actually to Kenya, and I always remember him saying to me he didn't want to die here, because my uncle went to go and get him and bring him back here, so he passed here, and he didn't want to die here, he wanted to die Africa, Jamaica, and so going back to your question, I always think about that question in reverse, and instead of saying where's home, is where do I want to die, because a lot of people don't necessarily think about where they want to die, and I think that kind of, it gives you more perspective on what you want for yourself, what you want for your life, what you want for your children, your legacy. And at the moment, I'm not going to lie to anybody, I'm still exploring, I'm still understanding, because as we have just had this conversation, home is very delicate. Where is home as Caribbean people? Is it where you're born? Is it where your parents are from, where your grandparents are from? Or is it where you plan to be? Is it, or is it where your money takes you? So I can't answer that question yet. But I just want to live good.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you said resonates with me in terms of living good. But ultimately, if we're going to narrow it down to you pointing out where you'd like to die, it's Jamaica, right? Undoubtedly, because that's where my grandparents are buried, up in the hills of St. Mary. That's where I'd like to be buried. Like, that just feels like a natural ending for me, and wherever feels natural and you connect with, I think that's home. So yeah, home is home, and home is Jamaica.
And then the last question, what was the goal of the film? What was the overall message?
This was the goal, man.
Yeah.
This was the goal.
We want to get paid too eventually. we put money in it out of our own pockets, but ultimately we want to produce something which was well received, and whatever comes out of it, like, I didn't have one set goal, but if we can go on tour with it and do more talks like this and anything that comes out of it, because I think it's an interesting discussion, because you don't see a lot of products like this where, I don't know, like black men have produced things which talk about identity and culture, and you get to explore it in depth. And I think a lot of the roundtable talk we might release on a grander scale, because there was much more conversation around that, and every time it's shown and people watch it, they talk about, oh, that conversation was really interesting. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that.
That's good. And also just to note as well that there was a music going throughout the whole of the song, so there's an album that complements it as well, and that takes you on a journey through your story as well. And you've got your first single coming out. When did you say it's out?
I haven't got the date yet, but soon.
Coming out, so everyone, and just hope that you've got everyone's.
Yeah, if you're on my socials, please follow me, and just once you've got my number, just tap in there.
And it'd be nice to put a review on.
Yeah,
that will help.
I think Martine's got some.
Yeah, we've got like a feedback questionnaire that has a QR code, so I'll send that round and then get your feedback on the page.
Ja! Rastafari. I've been wanting to do that all day. Ja! Rastafari. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an absolutely amazing day.
A day is gonna come when this life will end, and lost souls will be looking for a place to dwell. But before you stretch your hand and try to ask for help, do your own research and get to know yourself. Oh, get to know yourself. Don't rely on wishes from the wishing well. All the riches can't compare to your spirit's wealth. But are you supposed to know if you don't know yourself?
Without knowledge of self, You can get money, but not real wealth. See, all that you earn will get burned. If you don't learn, can't stand firm. There's no power but energy collective. Individualism's nothing but a death wish. So
Yeah, no, I might be. Where's that picture? Alright, cool. Yeah, that's it. That's him.
Come this way.
That's live vibration.
No, it's a success.
Fairfield House.
Yes.
Success?
Yeah, man. Big success.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Best day 2026.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.